A good afternoon. This is the November 9th Lunenburg Water District Commissioners meeting. This is being rebroadcasted for public access TV. We will start by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. First agenda is to review and sign warrants.
Yep, I'm doing that right now. All right.
See, National Grid isn't getting any cheaper, huh?
That's one.
I see.
Is that the $11,000
Yeah.
one? Yeah, that's Kiwi's.
Yeah, one month.
1 month.
11,000?
11,000. What was Unitil?
Well, that's a couple of
4,000.
them. Here's like 500.
And we still get like a break for running it at night versus day, or
Unitil's much cheaper than National Grid.
yeah.
Way cheaper.
Those Democrats must own National Grid.
The demand charges is the big thing. Yeah, Unitil gives. They used to be very high. Now it's cheaper on the demand charges.
Yeah. Have we got the minutes from,
Yes, they're both in there.
Okay. No.
I don't know if you guys
Sorry.
want to take time to read through all of them, because I know one was the
This is the special
special
meeting.
meeting, yep.
All right.
I'm not
If you want to go back,
Nah, I'm not
vote
gonna
on
go
those
through all
later,
that.
whatever you want.
Well, do we want to wait on doing the 19th? Because this is going to take. I'd like to wait on these
Sure.
because I would like to read them for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, I want to make sure that they're accurate.
right, well,
so
the
if you
next,
wanna pass over those, or-
Yeah. Let's. The next item agenda is to approve the minutes of the October 19th and October 26th. We're going to pause on the 19th for that, but we can go over
Yep.
the 26th. You and I.
All right.
Is that?
Yep.
Yeah, there wasn't
Fine.
much,
Yep.
that was,
We're in no hurry. What did we note, legal notice in the Lowell Publishing?
For the
for
special
the
meeting.
special meeting.
In Lowell?
Oh, no, wait, was that
Well, that'd probably be the truck.
maybe the truck bid?
The
Oh,
truck
okay.
bid.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's tied to the Sentinel.
Oh, all right. Townsend Ford, truck expense.
Repairing the Explorer.
What'd you do, smash it up?
No.
That thing's just that's
truck's-
falling apart.
That thing's
had
a-
the most
Yeah.
work out of any truck we've ever
Yeah,
owned.
yeah. What'd
I mean,
what'd they do to it? I mean, you
What
know,
was this? The heater stopped working.
all right, just,
I
you know.
blow bulbs like every 3 months. Headlights.
You know, I see a lot of brand new cars running around with a headlight out.
And then I never told you guys, but I needed a water pump a few months ago,
Yeah,
and that doesn't sound like a big deal. But you take a Ford Explorer, that's a huge deal.
yeah.
So Terry had it at the old garage. I went over to check on it. My whole motor was spread across the garage. The water was
water.
inside the motor, so he probably saved us because he knows how to do this.
Yeah.
He probably saved us $3,000.
Yeah. It's not.
And he redid the rack on the front because that failed. We couldn't turn the steering wheel.
People had a rack and pinion.
Yes, I mean we've had quite a bit with that.
It's not 4 volts like a Chevy small block.
So yeah, everybody's got that little specialty.
That's
It works out
fantastic
great.
how that.
Oh, he's a good guy to have around, that's for sure. All right, we're only gonna do the 26th.
Yes.
All right, I make a motion to accept the meetings of October 26th.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Did I do it right?
But you're supposed to be doing the talking. All those in favor, not him.
I thought.
That's all right, you're good.
But it's okay.
Hey, who cares? This is in New York City.
I'm gonna get with Miss.
You guys
P.
are- you
She's
guys
gonna
are
get-
doing-
She's gonna give me the
Yeah, you're doing
the
good without
handbook
Mark
on
here, so.
Yeah,
the-
but Robert's rules just guidance. You don't have to follow.
I need the wig, you know, the curly haired.
Good enough.
Okay, item 3 is discuss and vote on water
Sorry.
usage tiers for rate increases.
Thank you, Doug. So we missed those last time. Our
Right,
last meeting, we
understood.
voted.
We voted for that, but we didn't go through the tiers.
For the, I put an X over the $75
Correct.
minimum, the $720 tier 1.
Yep,
We were adding the 2 blocks. Down at the bottom, you'll see block 2 and block 3.
correct.
3,001 cubic feet to 5,000 cubic feet, $8 per 100.
Yep,
And then block 3, 5,000 and above,
Correct.
$9. So those were the 2 tiers that we had looked at.
Correct.
I mean, we don't, as of right now, we only have the 3 tiers. We have the minimum, then we have the tier 1, which is the 480, and then tier 2, which is 560. So we're adding this
Correct.
3rd tier to it for the really high
understood.
usage.
So we're working on the bottom, John, of that page.
Yeah,
The very bottom where it says
This
block
section.
2 and block
Yeah.
3.
we have discussed this, we just didn't.
Yeah, I just,
Yeah, we didn't,
We didn't intertwine it into
yeah,
that rate
we forgot the
increase.
blocks.
so the 80 cents is, that's proposed in the new rates is the same as it was in the old rates.
Correct.
So we just carried it over, so. But yeah, like she said, the 3rd block is totally new.
Right.
We used to, in the past, we used to have 3 blocks.
Right.
I think we might even have 4 blocks. I mean, the whole intent of that is conservation.
Correct.
You have green grass, which is incredible. You
Right.
You pay a lot more for it.
Sure. Yeah, it's to encourage people to
Yes.
be conservative with their water usage.
Yep.
Unless-
Yeah, that includes the sprinklers and all that stuff. then.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
yeah. And the block 2, even that one is, typical family is 3,000 or less.
Right,
So even if you hit the 2nd tier, you're already into,
yeah. You want to be
Right. Yeah,
using
yeah.
water at that point and aware of it.
so that 3rd block, I mean, if you wanna lower it, it's fine. A lot of
No,
people go way up.
I think, we looked at these before, and I think for the people that want to be conservative with their water bills and usage, I think this was the best approach for us to meet our budget
Yeah.
and financial needs out of it. And,
And still keep that minimum.
It still keep
as
that
low as we
minimum.
could for the.
Right.
Yep.
You know, for the people that want the green grass and they don't mind paying for it, well,
Yeah.
it's no problem too.
Yep.
But
All right, are we gonna vote on this tonight?
I'd like to.
If you
Yeah,
guys agree.
yes, I'd like to get this behind us. I'm
We're
gonna,
just talking about the bottom 2 now.
yeah. So I gotta spell those out
Well, you could just say,
All right, we'll go-
motion to approve the block 2 rate of,
in block 3?
Yep.
block 2 rate of $8 per 100.
Yeah, okay. I just wanna make sure. All right, I make a motion that we approve block 2 for $8 per 100. And block 3 for $9 per 100.
Okay, so block 2 is 3,001 to 5,000 cubic
Yeah.
feet, and block 3 is over 5,000 cubic feet.
Right.
I second that motion.
Now you
I
say
think
all
so.
in
In
favor.
favor.
All in favor? Aye.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay,
Start changing all of those.
all right. Moving right along. Number 4, Commissioner Superintendent additions.
Okay, so all I got is, I'm sorry, I'm sure you all saw the trucks out front. They presented a GIS mapping program. It was years ago, I went to one for the town of Rock GIS. This would tie into everything they do. We already have our whole map already completed. We had a DEP grant, probably 5 years ago, so the base map is already completed. So we would just take this new program and start going at it. Curb boxes, gate valves, everything. And then we could push that even to a work order phase of the project. So if we have a hydrant that needs to be repaired, the work order would tell the guys that this hydrant needs to be repaired. They would go there and update the information, whatever they did for the repair, click submit, and they could be sitting in the office and say, hey, that hydrant's fixed. And they could actually change the color. So let's say all the hydrants are green because they're all good. if a hydrant fails, they flag it as red. So there was a lot of good little things that this would bring to, even like we're all flushing. Usually when we flush the mains, we do sections. So when we do a section, we close valves.
Correct.
So when we go and initial part of the thing is closing the valve, we flag it in that program. Boom, close, valves closed.
Yep.
Boom, you see it right on the map, those valves are closed. At the end of the day, the program can report, hey, work order is needed to open the valves.
Right.
So it was a lot of little things, like even the reading of meters. And
Yeah.
it's a huge thing, and I remember the engineers were all here, and we were talking about the Hick Rails thing, and I was mentioning this, and I was saying the future, and they're like, this isn't the future, this is now. So we're kind of behind on all this.
Yeah.
And we see a lot of things that this could lead to that is really, really good things. So.
Does that have anything to do with water breaks?
No, but we could flag the breaks. It's
Yeah.
like when we have a broken water main, we could pinpoint it
All right.
and have it shown on the map. So when we have them all, you could look at a map and say, hey,
See where
all
they are.
Just show me the
pick
water main
colors,
breaks.
all the
and
blue
light
dots
up
of
to
the main
where-
breaks, so
Right.
you guys can see where the main breaks. So then
Yeah.
you could use that as a focus area.
I would say in our world, John, it's a big deal because if you could GIS map curb boxes and stuff like that, rather than like going out there with a shovel, I think it's over here and digging around for ding ding, or here it is. I mean,
You save a
versus-
lot of time,
That would save a
too.
lot of
Yeah,
time,
and that-
and I think it would save a lot of like, ooh, I hit it.
Yes, and it was so accurate, it's down to 1 centimeter. So
How much
it's
is that now?
So it's very accurate.
The other thing to keep in mind too is, there's a new DEP put out a new lead and copper revision.
Yeah.
And again, we don't know all the details of it yet, but it's going to, yes,
It's
it's gonna
gonna be
require a
huge.
GIS map. They're gonna want to see every service connection in your district and records of it. So
Jeez.
if this even isn't, we're gonna have to do something like this at some point.
Yeah, so a little further on that, I went to a class on this, and I didn't think it applied to Lunenburg because we have no lead services. We were put in after the lead
Correct.
thing. Everything in Lunenburg is either copper or they went to the plastic. So this was, DEP was the one running the meeting, and I questioned, and I said, so what does Lunenburg do? We don't have any lead services. Can you prove it? And I said, well, no, we'll put in after the lead service. Well, you need to prove it. Otherwise, it's considered lead service.
So we're gonna dig them all up?
That's the thing. How do we prove
Yeah.
that they are copper? So, I mean, we have all the old records at the old garage. I think we're gonna have to go when the water line was installed, pull their actual, if we can even find the stuff, who knows? Pull it, from the 50s and say, okay, this house has it.
I know, but even, I mean, you could technically, obviously, if the houses were, built when did they stop using lead, 79 or?
No, that was like copper.
Yeah.
So the 86 was the last of the copper solder.
Right.
I'm sorry, the lead in the
The
solder.
lead in the,
So that-
understood.
So
I
not
get
that, we're talking the lead goosenecks for tapping the water main.
Correct.
I think that ended in the early 1900s. I've never seen
Yeah.
anything like that in Lunenburg, so
And they want us to prove it.
we need to prove it.
Well, luckily, to go along with that, there is grant money because of this. So I have reached out to Time Bond, and they are fully aware of it, and they have a ton of customers using this grant
Yeah.
to apply for. So they sent me, I just got it today, like a 50-page packet of everything that's included in this revision, the DEP revision, the lead and copper revision, and I haven't read all 50 pages yet, but Time Bond said they could put together just a quick draft scope of what would entail in this grant, like for them to help us apply for this grant or to be able to figure out what.
Well, or basically to prove that we don't have any?
Yeah,
I don't know where the proving, because I mean, we've been to every meter
Right.
in the town.
Sure.
We replaced it, so we know that copper or plastic lines come in
Correct.
the house. No lead. So
Yeah.
That is fact.
So like I guess that would be my first thing is like we've been to where it comes into every house and we know it's one of the two. There's no lead.
Right, so part of this program, this GIS program
Yep.
was an actual picture of the meter. So you go to the house, there's an actual picture of the
Oh,
meter.
okay. Yep.
So, and this program was so good that you cannot submit that work order unless you take that picture. So, I mean, we can make stuff get finalized.
Yeah.
Right.
And this could be part of the process of
Okay.
approving this
Okay.
thing, so.
And we think
So this
that's
is-
what you're saying with that grant money comes into place. This could be part of that proof that we don't have any of these.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how.
Sure.
I don't know how the program we looked at with EJ Periscope
Mm-hmm.
and what Ty and Bond is talking about with the grant money. I don't know who you go through for the grant money, so I don't know if those can be tied together. I don't know the specifics yet. All I know is within the next year, this has to be done.
Okay.
So whether it's something we invest and we do a lot of the work ourselves, buy the tool, do all the work ourselves, the GI, plugging it in, or getting more information as to what does the grant offer? What is the,
Right. And
how
does it-
much do
Way,
they
we got a
do?
lot of work to do.
Yes,
We do.
it's just something to throw out there that in the next
Either
year.
way, I think this
it's-
GIS thing is
Yes.
like I'm all in favor of that. And if it kills, two birds with one stone,
Yeah.
even better. But
Yep.
I'm definitely in favor of
So
finding out.
on the records, I started in the 80s here, so
Mm-hmm.
I know like the 10 years before. So I know we can prove everything from the 70s on.
Yeah.
Before that, maybe
That-
you can, but
Yeah,
I,
that can prove a long way. So that's statewide?
it's federal, country,
That's gonna, New York and Boston, and
everybody. Yeah.
They're out
There's
of
that
there.
Flint, Michigan thing.
that's,
Oh, no, that kind of makes sense though.
So that's what and that may be, I think what that grant is bigger than just
Right.
us saying,
I
oh,
understand.
let me find some GIS money to prove you
Sure.
don't. This is gonna be, all right, we have so many service lines that help us fix them. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, all these other places that do have it. I think
Right.
there's a lot of money out there to
I get
help
you. Yep.
replace these lines.
All right. Well, definitely something we should look into. I
So
just
Yeah.
there's grant money out there for several parts, the
Yeah.
lead service line
Mhm.
one and the GIS stuff, so.
Yeah.
so
She's already hot on some of
just like because I'm catching a little bit. So I know what you're saying about the you're talking about the lead and the solder that was in
Nope.
or just you're talking about the lead.
It's a gooseneck. So they tapped the main and they came off the main with a lead, like a 3-foot piece of lead,
Okay.
and it was very flexible.
So it would-
and so that was very common. It
Yep.
was called a lead gooseneck. And then even way back in the day, they would actually run lead services.
Right.
And we.
So how would one prove that there's no lead gooseneck on the thing other than digging it up?
that's it.
That's where we need to figure out exactly
I mean-
what they're gonna entail in this.
I think you're gonna see them cut back on that, though.
I don't think so.
No?
There.
Like everything now, if we put a water line to someone's house, there's an estimate. And when we do the estimate, it tells you exactly what the material is, and
Right.
then there's actually the bill that went with that estimate. So,
Right.
So we know exactly what went there, how many feet, everything. So back to the 70s, because I do it exactly the same way as everybody before
Sure.
me did it. So I know I have them all right there, so I make it.
So what you're saying is, if there was a new service or a replacement service from late 70s, early 80s up, we
Yeah.
have it.
Yes.
So we need
But
to
we still
figure
need
out
to,
what
we still
records
need
we
to pull
don't
it
have
and
yet.
file it.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess my
So we
question
need to
is,
figure out who.
is it possible, that's gonna be, that there's been no service improvement to a certain house since
39.
Huh?
Well,
Since
we started in
1939, yeah.
1939.
No, I'm just saying, but
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
saying.
that was installed in 1939 and
Right,
nothing's been fixed
I
since
can't
then. How
imagine
do we-
there's one out there that hasn't been touched in that
Oh,
long.
I would imagine 90% of them. If a water line went in 1939, it's still there.
No way.
Never touched, probably never even fixed the shut off, the curb stop.
And you think that line's still, I mean, not
It's copper.
choked in?
Perfect.
I've had to replace a bunch of copper ones. Like if someone had a heart attack and it gets down to nothing.
That was usually iron line. Iron's okay.
Yeah.
We don't have any iron lines.
Well, I'd be curious,
So that's how it went lead, iron, copper.
out of our 2,500 roughly customers, how many do you think are pre-1970s?
1,000.
Wow. Well,
Can you test the water in the house?
The only way you could do is
The
like
lead
camera
content?
it or something.
No. Well, actually, so
Yeah.
when,
You know,
when we do it
if
on lead,
you'd have to shut. You'd
But even still, how would you, yeah,
so when we did our lead and copper testing, we submitted, they had different tiers. And the worst tier for us was the lead solder, which was 1986. So that was our focus, to focus on houses that were built from 82 to 86. And those were the houses that we test for the copper and lead for our yearly, actually every 3 year
Every-
sampling.
yeah.
Now you tested the water.
We test
Yeah.
the water. First draw. So we don't, no flushing of the water. We hand out letters in the bottle. We say, first draw when you wake up, fill up that bottle. And
So
they
what'd
do
you
it.
find?
We pass them all.
yeah.
No lead, no,
There's a smidgen of lead and a little bit of copper, but they're all, the way they do it, it's a 90th percentile. So as long as you pass 90% of them, you pass.
but there's none of that now.
No, we usually have one house.
No, I mean, this new law is gonna be 100%.
No, that's still gonna apply, because everybody's still gonna have the copper in the house. We can't
Oh, yeah.
replumb the houses. so-
Yeah, yeah.
And the treatment we do for the raising of the pH has nothing to do with we have no copper and no lead in our water. It's, we treat the water so when it enters the house, it doesn't corrode their piping. And when we did start adding the chemical raising the pH, we stopped having service leaks on the 1939 copper.
Well, I'd love to see
He
how
doesn't,
this
he
one's
doesn't
going.
believe me, it's pretty rare we're fixing a leak in a 1939 service, but we do fix one, we probably fixed one once last year.
I mean, I'm not arguing.
We,
you.
we have about as many leaks in copper as we do plastic.
Really?
Well, maybe a little more in the copper, but we do have service leaks in plastic too.
Huh.
Everybody thinks plastic's perfect, but it's not. It gets brittle over time. 1980s plastic is not.
Oh, well, sure, I could see that. And if they didn't put
Yeah.
sand around it, there's a rock poking it to the side of it.
Okay, so GIS stuff's coming on the road, and you're gonna hear more on the copper and lead, lead service line stuff. So it's just the beginning phase of that stuff. So other things that went on, the new garage, what's the Metallic
Yeah.
Yep.
company? They're the ones that designed and built the garage. They called and said the roof doesn't meet code for roof load, snow load. So they had to come out and weld supports and put wires and stuff to meet the code. So I don't know how they found that out.
They claim
After-
the engineers figured it out,
It is
but
my guess, because we actually just did a foundation for one of these buildings that I bet you when they spec'd it out, they didn't spec out things like lights, et cetera. Like all that changes, whatever you have hanging on the ceiling up there, you know,
But I spec this thing for solar.
and it's still,
And that's one of the things
Yeah.
I'm starting to work on is getting solar. I want to put solar on this thing.
sure.
yeah,
And because we're municipal, we're not gonna get the grants like a homeowner would. Maybe we will, who knows?
I'm working on that one too.
But yeah, I definitely wanna do solar over the whole garage, and if we can eliminate a $500 a month electric bill,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it won't take long to pay them off.
No.
yeah,
So, but anyway, that's something we'll
Yeah.
yeah.
do. So.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there was a guy that just left. He was taking pictures of the truck that we're gonna trade in for the new one.
Oh, okay, when's that? That's next
Next-
week.
next-
Yeah.
Next one. And then
Yep.
Wednesday's a bid opening. He told me that there's no vehicles available. This is GM, so he said they put in their order. He said, was it 70%, 80%? They cut off his order. They didn't supply what he ordered. And he says that wasn't just him. That was throughout the whole country. So he said, I expect a 23, and he thinks he might be able to get a 24, but that won't be for a while. So then he's like, well, what about a crew cab? I'm like, I really don't want a crew cab. So he's like, let me see what I come up with. So when we get the bid, whoever the low bidder is, we can talk to and,
Sure.
come up with something. So we'll see how it
gonna
goes.
be
But
interesting.
he says it's not just GM, it's everybody. And we,
What do you say, Mac was 18 months or
yeah,
something like
Mac is,
that?
yeah. So So we only had like 3 or 4 people
Yeah.
ask for the spec. We did put it on
Right.
combis anyway, so
Yeah.
they actually see it, but no one, if they're interested, you would think they'd be coming to look at the trade.
I think the problem is that it's a regular cab 8-foot bed, which is just, it's not common anymore. They're all, you know,
Yeah, so he thinks a 24, he can get access to a regular cab.
well, we'll see next week when they.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yep.
So he's gonna submit whatever he can.
So, just curious, if we open these bids and the lowest bid is higher than we'd like, do we have to take it?
Checked all bids.
Okay.
Yep, I put that right in the thing.
Yeah.
Board has the right to reject
Sure.
any and all bids.
Okay.
So you're good.
Now, this is all material problems. They can't build these trucks. Or who knows what the real truth
For a while was
is.
that chip.
Oh, yeah.
What was that? They showed video of Ford with like, what, 100,000
Yeah,
trucks sitting in
sitting in
some
a lot, can't do anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
parking spot because they couldn't get the chips for it. So I don't, yeah.
Yeah, I, that's above my pay grade.
Yep.
Just let me.
Above all of us, so
All right.
that was all I had.
Okay.
I just got the email today. I was telling you guys I was working through Maya for a grant. And they said, the letter states that they got, they have $1 million grant budget and they got over 1.5 requests. So they were really focusing on certain areas. I applied for just under $8,200 for updating our cybersecurity.
Correct.
And she said majority of people, they immediately just cut in half. So we got approved for just under $4,100. So my next step was to reach out to ClearTech.
Yep.
Who we had gotten the,
Correct.
everything, and which is what I attached so
Sure,
they can
yep,
see
yep.
everything. So I'm gonna reach out to them this week, tomorrow, next week, and say, all right, this is what we were approved, let's prioritize. Let's
Okay.
figure out, because Maya has told us within the next year, you've gotta be
You
up,
gotta be-
and
yeah.
everybody has to
Sure.
be. And if you don't have certain requirements, they're not gonna cover you for insurance. So
Okay.
those, I wanna figure out what are those specific ones, and then I wanna talk to ClearTech and say,
This is, yeah.
out of this amount, let's start going through here. And
Well, what about the other cybersecurity guy?
Wasn't he like the really kind of cheap one that I didn't really?
no, he was more, because we went with ClearTech to do the scan. That's
Correct.
what it was.
Yeah,
And they were
He
a
was the
little.
cheapest.
Well, I mean, but I thought
ClearTech.
ClearTech was very line item, like we're gonna do this, this, and the other one was just a very general.
Well,
It's
both
kinda-
of them were kind of tough because they really couldn't give a lot of information until we paid to do that scan.
Okay.
So we had just gone with ClearTech because they were cheaper. We did the scan, we found everything, and they gave me, this is what we've
Right.
reviewed and everything. So I don't know. It's
I was just thinking, I think we need to expand this to the town. Because the town's tied to our radio system,
Mm-hmm.
so they can actually see.
Yeah.
oh
Yeah, so I mean, the town radios are on our radio system.
Correct.
I mean, it's all our
Right.
system, but we
Yeah,
let
yeah.
them use it. But if they can access that with a computer or something, then
can they get into something? Yeah.
could they get in? you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, I think this is where it might be good to have ClearTech come in and sit, with Fran and I and say, because they kind of know our system a little bit because they monitor the server.
Right.
But, it was tough because some of their package included, monthly fees, yearly fees and all that. And to me, I want you to come in and tell us, like, what program, because, there's this whole
Right.
password program, that you have one main password, you open it up and it gives you all your passwords, you know what I mean? So
Sure.
there's all these certain things. Well, tell us all these programs, what's out there for us just to get, update our information, how do we do all this kind of information, and give us the training on it.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't specifically looking for this monthly, yearly
I don't
contract.
like the yearly thing.
I don't really like it either.
So that's what I think I need to get across to them now that we know a dollar amount.
Sure.
Listen, this is what we have. I don't want half of that to go for maintenance fees every
correct.
year.
Yeah.
I want to have this initial investment in this to update us.
Sure.
What are we gonna do,
Yeah, I think you
you know?
should like revisit that. Be like,
Yeah.
hey, now that this is gonna happen, we have some monies.
Yeah.
Let's really fine tune what product you're gonna
Yeah,
give
That's
us.
why I was thinking the other guy too. You know, that, I like the other guy.
We
It's just more expensive doing that.
We definitely
I know.
could, you know, I mean, once we get a, like, you know, like I said, a list of what, these are the
Yeah.
line items that we're gonna be looking for, by all means, we can expand it to the other guy and be like, hey, these are.
Yeah, this isn't contingent on using ClearTech, and this is exactly what it was. This was just, hey, this is our
Sure.
proposal, this is what we wanna update.
Right,
Yeah, here you go, and the nice thing is they'll pay direct to the vendor. You send them
Oh,
invoices,
perfect.
they pay direct to them, you take care of everything in that way, so we can, I mean,
Yeah,
I can
see.
talk to both of them again, to ClearTech and that other guy, and
Yeah,
say,
so I mean, you could give that report to the other guy.
that's exactly what I was
Yeah.
thinking, yeah.
Say, hey, what
And say,
do you
hey.
got for ideas for this, so.
Yep.
And go from there.
yeah. But either way,
Wow,
that was good, we were approved for that.
okay. Anything else?
That's.
I did talk to, Bill at the DPW last week.
Oh, yeah.
And so he wasn't really too aware of that CDL type of program, but
Yep.
one of the newer employees, I haven't really met him yet, he came out of Arlington DPW, and they did it there.
Yep.
And he was saying very similar to what we talked about. Somebody, a Greg, I'm just using
Yeah,
Greg
yeah.
here, got to be that certified trainer, and they did that. So
Yep.
it's something very much worth looking into. And like I say, if we could get the other town entities on board with this
Yep.
could be a
A good thing.
Yeah.
a huge.
I looked
Save
up on the
everyone.
website, and I think I didn't go the next step yet. I think I just need to create an account. I think the conversation needs to be had of, do we want Greg, does Greg want to do this?
Right,
Does Greg
yeah,
want-
right.
You know what I
Keep
mean?
throwing
Like,
Greg's name, let's
how
try
are we
asking
gonna
for it.
move forward? Because once the next step, it has general information on the website.
Mm-hmm.
But the next step, where I think I can get more, is create the account. All right, who's gonna be the trainer? How are you gonna do this?
Right.
What's your proposal that you're gonna train your guys? You know what I mean?
Sure.
So-
I guess the other thing too is I would feel out what the need is. I'm really can only think of the DPW and you guys. Is there anybody else on a town level?
Now, was that just gonna be for municipal, or can anybody?
It could be for anybody. I mean, if you wanted to have other people,
Oh,
but
no, it needs to be
So-
for employees.
What about, I'm sorry?
It needs to be like this program is for employees of municipals.
So
Yeah.
an employee of yours or mine can't?
Can't do this, no. From what I understand.
that's not how I.
No, because I talked to, we sat at the table and talked to, oh no, I was in the class, you weren't there.
Yeah, it wasn't that one.
Athol, I think it was Athol, did it. And they had kids in college or at a high school that were looking for jobs, and they called their insurance company and got like a, some kind of waiver.
Binding.
Rider.
Binder.
What's that, I'm sorry?
The blanket, the binders.
Yes, to say, so these kids weren't even officially working. It was, hey, we're gonna help train you to come and work for us. So I don't have to say it's my understanding, I could be mistaken, but it's my understanding that I think anybody can take this. We submit it, because you still have to go get your permit. You physically have to
Well-
still go to the DMV and get your license and do all that.
Yeah.
But the actual, and take the driving
this
test,
is
but the
just
actual training
Taking
part.
place of that $5,000 to $10,000
Yes.
truck driving school.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, that's great, but I don't think I want to have Greg training every Tom, Dick, and Harry out here to be CDL drivers
no,
that
no,
aren't
no.
gonna.
Oh, yeah.
No, so
yeah.
that's where when I set this up, he said that. He goes, if you set up your account, he says you have the option of putting yourself private, which means this is it.
Yep.
This is my account, or public, which means I can Google search and say who in this area teaches this class. Ooh, I'm gonna
gotcha.
go see Greg at Lunenburg Water because
Okay.
he teaches it. So no, when I create this account, it's gonna be a private account. This is not gonna be something that's open
To the
to
public?
anybody, because then that opens up
Okay.
the problem
Well, here's
of driving the trucks.
The second problem. So let's say that you just open this up to another municipalities in this area,
Mm-hmm.
right? How do we get compensated for Greg's time to train I don't want to be a tractor trailer school here.
Well, you'd have to come up with a fee structure.
But
If you
but
put
that's
out
the thing, so it'd be whatever we want, we're creating this.
Okay.
Do we only want Greg to train Lunenburg Water District's employees? Great, that's it, we're done, we're closed, we trained him, he's done. Do you actually wanna open it to a one-time thing? sure, then that's what, so the guy who did this presentation,
Yeah,
I forget what city he was out of, so they had a ton. They were
Sure.
like plow drivers, you know.
I could see like
ton
a
of stuff, you
Lowell
know.
or something being like,
Yeah,
you know,
they
like,
were
yeah.
doing a ton of people, so they went through and opened it up, you know what I mean? But
Right.
so then they sat there and they said, okay, our trainer is getting X amount of dollars, you know what I mean? The trainer was getting paid to stay after work.
Right.
Plus
Which,
he was getting $1,000 stipend. So they looked at it, he even say that, and I said, well, so did you make other people pay? And he said, no, because those were all gonna be potential employees. He says, I said, well, how did you guarantee that? And he said, well, we're kinda old school, we did the handshake. He's like, but
Yeah.
obviously we understand that this kinda stinks, cause you're investing in them, and they could literally turn around and be like, see ya.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying, but to me, I think if we're gonna do this, we keep it in-house for now, because this saves us training our guys.
absolutely,
$5,000 to
I guess.
$10,000.
Right,
If you wanted to open it to other people, the problem becomes how much of Greg's time is after work and we're paying for him,
Right.
and how much are we gonna have to pay our insurance company to do this blanket waiver
Yeah.
for people to drive our truck?
sure. I guess
So,
my first question is what's the need? Like, right now, what's our need for CDL drivers?
Well, you just have me and Greg. So Greg
Yeah,
usually
Terry.
running the backhoe, so I run the dump trucks.
Okay. You have a hydraulics license. Terry,
We all have.
everybody
all
has
of-
hydraulics.
2A1C or just 2As or?
Two A's.
Excellent.
Yes, yeah,
Two
it's
As,
2
yep.
As, okay, all right. But you two are the only CDL?
drivers, yeah.
All right.
And honestly, part of our hiring package is you are supposed to get your CDL.
Right, no, we went through this
Yeah.
last year. or
Are
the
there
year-
any other towns doing this?
The only other table I sat at was Athol, and she said they've been doing it for a while.
Why don't we send our guys there, though?
Well,
Ask them.
my,
You know, I mean,
right,
or if there's a Littleton or Acton or something close.
Yeah, I don't, out of everybody there, the guy who presented it, I have it in my notes.
Yeah,
He
it's
was
gonna be,
big.
it's gonna be
But
tough.
Athol, because he had asked, has anybody ever heard of this or done this? And I just happened to be sitting at the table with him
yeah.
and got to ask him questions, so,
I guess
I can ask.
I would maybe feel out our community first, you know, maybe reach out to Bill and be like,
Okay.
hey, you know, if this program was in fact, and you know, one of us came up with a program for this, what would be the interest, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
See, I think what you're gonna find out if you open it up to the public, you're gonna get a lot of these paving guys that.
Oh, God,
And they're all buying single axle dump trucks now, so you don't have to have a CDL.
See, what I pictured when I heard this was, it doesn't have to be like, I mean, we could sit there and say, all right, guys, Wednesdays from 12 to 2,
Yeah,
Lisa and I are gonna try not to book any finals or book anything like
Sure,
that, you guys are
and
gonna
they
meet.
can
If
have-
something comes up,
oh, absolutely.
you go do it.
Right.
So to me, there's that flexibility if we keep it in-house.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
If there's an emergency comes up, they go and do it, and then we go, all right, let's do our training tomorrow, you know what I
Sure.
mean? Or, guys,
Yeah.
it's a Friday afternoon, it's pretty slow. Go hop in the truck, we're gonna go drive.
Right.
We're gonna time it, you just got an hour driving practice, like,
Right.
that's kinda how
Okay,
to keep it in-house.
Yep.
It's not like you have to sit there and say, Monday is class,
Right,
Tuesday is
class
driving,
rumble.
Tuesday's the, you know,
Okay.
you have to sit there and
Is
say, I'm
there,
gonna do.
is there an example of this curriculum floating around anywhere?
I got the guy's email, so.
Okay, I'd love
I'm gonna, yeah,
eyeball that, and
Yeah.
then maybe we could tailor it to
yep,
make it simple. I guess I'm with John here. Like with the new CDL changes, like it's tough to get one. So
That's why they're forcing you to pay $10,000
right.
to go to traffic
Well, they're
school.
also sick of all the crashes and the trucks were falling apart, and you know,
So
like
what if the DPW does have some people, and
Right.
maybe we use one of their trucks for the.
sure. Well, that's
Well, that's what-
Our trucks are over 20 years old. so
yeah. Well, you don't want somebody splitting gears in that thing.
Yeah.
How many guys down the highway got CDL licenses, do you know?
Not as many as you think, and that's a problem.
Well, they're all driving single axle trucks, that's why.
No, well, they're a single axle truck. That Mack they have, that's an over. That's a
Is
CDL
it?
truck.
I
Yeah.
thought they all were CDL.
They're all.
other than the 1 tons, but.
Yeah.
Why don't I'll reach out to him.
Reach out to Bill and just be like, hey, you know, we're just,
Let's figure
we're
this
mulling
out.
this idea around.
Yeah.
And he might be like, you know what, we only need 2 guys, so it's no big deal to us. We're like, man,
Yeah,
that
but
would
what's
be huge.
coming? That's the thing. What's
Well, like
coming?
their problem is obviously is snow, snow,
Yeah.
What about accidents with these guys driving trucks that are overweight that don't have the right license?
They don't do it. I mean, not the,
Well, I mean, if it's
the DPW's not supposed to, and they don't. I mean,
Yeah, they
I work
don't.
with them all the time.
No,
They
I mean
don't.
in a snowstorm. You send all these guys out.
Well, that's usually in the snowstorm. It's private contractors, and that's why you hire a private contractor. It's their problem, not the DPW.
But they usually all have their licenses too.
Yeah.
so.
They're very.
I'll reach
Not
out to
many
him,
people
and
drive
then,
a CDL
yeah, like he said, from
Yeah.
there, we can figure
I guess I
out
just
if-
want to, before we invest a bunch of time and effort into this, let's feel out the need and the cost of benefit to us.
Well, to me, I don't see, if there wasn't a need from
Right.
anybody else, to me, I think doing it in-house, if Greg is willing
Was
to
on
do it
board, I think it's-
and do these,
Yeah.
to me, all I see is a cost savings.
I
These
agree.
2 guys need their CDLs.
Yep.
5 to 10 grand for a class.
I
If we're
think-
willing to make it work around our schedules.
If we can, especially if we can work it into the day-to-day
Yeah,
operation.
that's what I mean, not staying till 7
Right.
o'clock at night. No, let's work it in. 10 to 12 guys, we're gonna get lunch and go do this, and
I think you're gonna find out that if you did that, you'd have more people than you could handle.
oh, if we did open it up.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
No, and
I
that
mean,
wasn't my idea. When I heard this, it was.
I might be parked in this way. I don't know. I might be blocking that road. There's a lot of traffic when I came in.
So anyways, we'll follow up. I'll keep looking into
All
it.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
Only one other thing, ZBA meeting's tonight, 7 o'clock.
Yes,
Howard
yes.
Street, so
Yep.
I'll be happy
Tonight?
for that, yes.
Yeah. That's
So I'll be going.
okay. Nothing. Public comment.
Thank you.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's actually quite interesting. I enjoyed the water chemistry, the electrolysis of the copper pipes and all. Joan Pease, 11 Wintergreen Court, and the trustees have made me the Woodlands representative to your committee for the well pilot study.
Okay.
And I don't know, I have met with the trustees and we've had a long discussion. We watched together both the selectmen's meeting where the water district presented, and we also watched the August 23rd water district meeting where Ty and Bond was here.
Correct.
And after watching those 2 meetings, we came up with things that are important that we would like the water district to consider from the Woodlands point of view. And I don't want to discuss them tonight because I know it's not on the agenda, but I thought I would give you copies.
Yep.
I think I emailed one.
You did, so we all
You
have
did.
copies.
Oh, you all have-
I do have.
Oh.
I got it. I did get it today, and I was working.
Yeah, I just received it today.
I-
No, so did I,
okay.
so, yep.
Mr. Esposito, do you need a copy? No?
Yes.
If you have one printed out, by all means, I'll
I
take it.
printed them out for all of you.
Thank you.
And again, these are just from watching those 2 meetings.
Yep.
That's the information we use to put our concerns together.
Okay.
And our hope was that some of these might be able to be addressed or at least presented to Ty and Bond before the meeting next week, so we're not starting from scratch. I don't know if there's any communication you have with them, or possibly the water district itself might find it useful to have them before the meeting. Some of these concerns may evaporate as we move on.
Sure.
And new concerns that we have no idea about may come up because we just watched those 2 meetings to get a feel for what's going on. And then these questions evolved from the information in those 2 meetings.
Didn't we already go over some of these at our prior meetings? Lake water levels concerns,
Well, that they're gonna, when they do their
study?
actual work, they're gonna, be more specific.
But
on it.
this is more than the lake
Right.
concerns because we live there.
I would like some time to digest,
Absolutely, and I don't want to discuss it because it's not
Yeah.
on the agenda. The other question I had was, I know at the last meeting, I got a lot of positive feedback, especially from you, Matt, about publishing minutes.
Yes.
And I was wondering if there were any minutes published yet.
Not yet. I just spoke to our website designer and they're creating a new link. And I literally have a sticky on my computer to get them up there. So I am working on it since the
Thank you.
last meeting. I'm working on it.
Thank you, that's very helpful. And I
Yep.
was wondering if agendas could be posted. I got a email last minute that, there's nothing at the water district meeting today. about the well.
I do post on Facebook, our website, Town Hall, and here.
Your website has agendas?
Yes, I go right in the middle when you
Right in the
come.
middle.
You're right in the middle.
Come to our, right when you go to Lunenburg Water, I apologize, I try my best because we have to go through a site, but yes, I try to upload my agenda
Okay.
to the website, but it's always on Facebook, and it's always posted the 2 days before.
Okay, I have to find the Facebook, I've just been looking at the website.
Yeah,
Yes.
but yep,
Thank
Facebook,
you. That would be
website, door, and Town Hall.
Extremely helpful.
Yep.
Okay, and how do I get a copy of the water tier usage chart for my own personal interest? Oh God, I need to know this. Is it,
Well, I can give you, if you want, so it's $75.
You talking about for the
You know what,
the new-
water usage
the
for
new-
the customers?
Oh, like what you're using?
Yeah,
No.
we just voted on it
Well, we
tonight,
voted on
didn't you?
everything. So if you, now that it's officially all voted, I can
Give me a
do,
copy.
We gotta update the rules and regulations with it anyway.
yeah, so I can update stuff and post everything on Facebook, but just, so if you would like
We
to.
can write it down right
Minimum
now.
charge is $75.
Yeah,
So that covers from 0 to 600 cubic feet. 601 cubic feet to 3,000 cubic feet
yeah,
is gonna be $7.20 per 100 cubic feet.
oh, per 100, okay.
Yep. And then from 3,001 cubic feet to
Yeah.
5,000 cubic feet, it's gonna be $8 per 100 cubic feet.
Wow, okay.
And then above 5,000
Oh.
cubic feet,
Somebody uses that much, huh?
yes,
You'd be
amazed.
You'd be
Above-
surprised.
Above 5,000 cubic feet is gonna be $9 per 100 cubic feet.
So on that, just so you know, we did a printout and we can view usage rates. For the last quarter, 250 people used between 3 and 5,000 cubic feet. And 275 people used over 5,000. And then the quarter in April, which is the winter period, it was only 85 for the 3 to 5,000 and 38 for the over 5,000, but most of those are businesses anyway.
So you can see that's almost 400 people that go.
Obviously, this
Big
year would be
usage, right?
higher than normal due to it
Yeah.
being so dry in these
Right.
last two, these
Yeah.
2 quarters, so I mean,
Okay. Thank you for your time. And I hope that helps make next week's meeting more productive. Is there an email group or all, or just do Lunenburg Water District and everybody gets it?
yeah, just do that. If it's pertinent to the commissioners, she forwards them out
Okay.
right
Yep,
away.
yeah, if you do
Was it on the
to
Loon Watt?
loonwat
Yeah,
at
that makes sense.
verizon.net, then we both have access to it, we can both see it, and then immediately from there, we read
You
it,
just
and I
post it.
forward it to
And do you
anybody.
have, I don't want to say it over there,
Yep.
but do you have my email?
Yes, I do,
Thank
yep,
you.
yep,
So-
you've been included in a couple
Okay, so
with John.
okay, the group emails.
Yep,
Okay,
that John sent one asking, and I think you and Paula were on it,
Yes,
and I had
Yes.
responded, yep.
okay.
Yep.
That's great. And you know Todd Dwyer was appointed last night as the selectman to this committee.
No,
No?
I watched the selectmen's meeting.
nobody called us. Okay.
Thank you,
Okay, thank you.
What was his name, I'm sorry, Tom?
Todd.
Todd?
Todd, Dwyer, Dwyer.
And he was appointed from the selectmen to start being
I think
part?
so, that's what
Okay.
it said at the meeting.
Okay.
But, you know, I'm not the official carrier of that information,
Sure.
I just watched the videotapes.
It's funny, now that you say that, I saw his name on the email and I didn't know who that was. When John Fortune sent it out asking
Wow.
what was, when, the next meeting would be, so. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay,
All right,
no more public comment? Anybody have anything else to add?
No, I make a motion, we adjourn.
I second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.